Okay, this is the George machine. Does this look like? Does this sound like a? That BRIO? That's definitely. Again, all you can do is wait. This speech. This is from the, I can tell. So the people actually put it, but I look at the people on this, the building never looks so large. Look at the other pictures. Love that. It's like art, fine art museum. Look at the size of that. Look.
But coughing. In the middle of a fucking night, man.
That's a regular size pulp.
Inside it confirms they're real. Men in black. Oh my. Men in black. Confirm they're real. Well, you didn't think they were before they went. Like, Where is air? The more I think about Aquarius, the more I'm wondering, why is it air? Pretty. Pretty vacant. Pretty. So tired. Yeah, I'm feeling some energy. Wake up a bit more. Pretty vacant. Pretty. Pretty vacant. Oh, I know this shit. An hour of this. For fuck's sake! Get that fucking door fixed! Who is it? It's just gonna be like that all morning, man. All day. When's that door never slamming? I'll wake up in a reality where that door isn't. It's been fixed. I thought it was fixed. It's broken still. It's gonna drive me nuts. My bad friend has gone. That's kind of acceptable. I can see the sun. It's not too dark, it's not too bright. Bloody pigeons. Good time to sun gaze, huh? I can't see anything. Quite possibly the first time I've seen the sun. Oh, come on, pyramid. Pyramid. I see. If you are there, then grant me the ability to see you, please. It's a shining one. I can't do it. Oh, I freak them all. Freak them out. Oh, why scare the shit out of them when you can just weird them out? We don't want to be near you. Let us fly. Okay. Right then. I'm sorry that I was weird. I'm sorry my weirdness is too much for you. Oh, one of them stayed. A very distinctive sun disk there. You can see this entire area of the sky. It's rotating round, it's moving. There's no airplane, no sign of an airplane anywhere. You're hearing a airplane-esque noise. Not quite an airplane now, is it? It's not an engine I've heard before. And where's the low rumble? So I've got some kind of dome-esque structure that's currently above us at the moment. I'm thinking it might be a pyramid. See, he does it okay. Why can't everyone else do it? You know? Yes, Mr. Crow. The other crow died. You can tell, can't you? They passed the mantle of the Grand High Crow to a younger crow. And now a younger crow has that voice. And I remember the days when it was transforming. See, that's a new one, that bird there. I don't remember hearing. I thought it was a blackbird initially, but now I'm starting to think differently. I got the impression that sometimes blackbirds mimic new and different noises that they hear and incorporate it into their song in order to have a unique. You make their song more unique and personal to them. And, yeah. Quite honestly, though, if that was a blackbird trying to attract me, I wouldn't. That noise would put me off quite a lot. I don't. Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Blackbird. if it is a blackbird, I don't really appreciate the car alarm mimicking. I do wonder as to the wisdom of people jogging on the street. You know, from my understanding, you can really mess your kneecaps up and all your joints. The regular compacted impacts on a hard surface. I mean, it's one thing to walk on a hard surface, but to run, that's a lot of additional force. I think some of the pigeons have decided to start living up on the roof. Yeah, another person walking out. She holds it up. She tries to allow it to close normally as well. That's nice. Some people just let it slam. So that's two people who do it nicely. Some people are just in a rush and they don't give a shit. At least she understands. And she's moved closer. Some more shiny what? And to think we've had weathermen tell us. We've had weathermen tell us what clouds and weather is. Look at that. Now, that is, even though one would call that pareidolia up there, I'm definitely seeing a face in the clouds, and that face up there is closer to the pareidolia than in any of the things that are coming through in the symmetry. I think they're trying to say pareidolia is just a scientism concept, and I don't. I used to think at one point I actually trusted science. And I know there's a difference between science and scientism. But one is just the fundamentalist version of the other. there are some inherent issues within science itself, and that they're trying to work out, but there are so many agendas at work that trying to resolve any of the anomalies, any of the potentially erroneous concepts that exist, that gets scuppered because of this Church of Science kind of mentality, where once it's been claimed, even just a hypothesis, it's interesting, isn't it, how some hypotheses are taken as fact, as theory, but other hypotheses are rejected outright. Oh, I've seen a chickadee. Pigeons have gathered over towards the garden. There's a couple of crop areas. Oh, being visited by a crow. Mr. Crow. See, the crow doesn't need to do very much. He just needs to fly over them and they piss themselves so they'll scatter. And crow's quite large by comparison to a pigeon. And you kind of realise the scales really do differ quite substantially between, say, a goldfinch, a pigeon and a crow. A pigeon is substantially larger than a goldfinch, yes. And the crow comes along and says, oh yeah, but I'm even bigger than a pigeon. Bigger wingspan, larger body, a much louder voice. It's interesting. Pigeons, why are pigeons so quiet? They are very, very quiet birds, really. It's interesting, isn't it? Because you wouldn't think that such a quiet bird would be such a messy and obnoxious creature. Obnoxiously messy. Shitting where they eat, shitting on each other, fighting over water, fighting over food. There's no teamwork there at all. There's the crow. I'm sorry, man, there's not much around at the moment. Well, there is that. There's a couple of bits and pieces. The problem is the pigeons keep nicking it all. That's the third lap. You must be getting tired. I'd be fucking knackered at this point. I wouldn't be able to, I'd find it difficult to complete one lap walking. And not because I'm overweight either, that's the stupid thing. I wonder how usual it is for hawks to go for pigeons. So we have a series of shining ones, or potential cloak ships. I'm still trying to work that one out. At this point I can't. At this point I know there's nothing real about the sky. Nothing real about any of these clouds. Bang! Great. It is like a big old saucer. Maybe a dome of some kind. It's spinning around. It's rotating. You can see it. You can hear it. Don't blame me, bro. I wonder if he... Can you not let the door slam? Bang! 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 Someone needs to do something about that fucking door. It's jarring. It's actually quite jarring. And for somebody who, like me, who has their windows open to let continuous airflow come in, I mean, it's one thing to have passing traffic, but then something that's preventable, it can be prevented. You know, it can be changed, it can be adjusted. So why do we have to suffer with the unnecessary noise, you know? It's just, the mind boggles, really. You know, maybe for a few days it would be like that, but now it's been about, a week? I saw him trying to fix it the other week, so I don't know why. Well, this is lap 4. I've been here for 4 laps. He's actually making pretty good progress if he's running around the whole park. That's not bad at all. I don't know how he copes with it. I don't know how. I guess when you're fitter and healthier, it's no effort really, is it? Well, of course there's effort, but I guess it's not as much effort to do that when you're fitter and healthier. I think my opportunity to sort that out has kind of gone down a bit. It's high. It's highly unlikely that I'll ever be able to get as fit as I used to. And I certainly would be able to. Oh, goodness me, they could have stopped that from happening, but there we go. It's a man in a skirt. I guess he's a traditional Islamic wear. How those two can afford it and a car. Maybe they both have a job. Even then, it concerns me a little bit. I'm kind of thinking to myself, well, I mean, who gets paid that much money? I mean, it does lead me to wonder. It doesn't seem right to me that, oh, magpie, good morning. I'm sorry about your state of the water. The moment I put some fresh water in, the pigeons just jumped at it. And they splashed around in it. They really made a mess of it, to be quite honest. You be careful, Mr. Magpie. Thank you for flushing the pigeons away. They are quite pain in the bum, aren't they? Even squirrels are out and about. Try and eat things. Nope, that wasn't a peanut. There were so many of them around, you know. Both between them, the pigeon and the squirrel have oh look, an actual different bird. It's a shame. The pigeons really do. It's funny, isn't it? The magpie's trying to find his stash. They use like a small leaf or something like that, and they mark it. What is that stuff over there? Oh, I'm sorry, my little friend. I'm sorry it's empty. You can't get into that thing because it's too small. Oh, seems pretty annoyed with the pigeons, to be honest. I'm not surprised. Get the fuck out of here. Shits. He seems pretty pissed off with the pigeons. What is that stuff on the floor? That guy will be back round in a minute. Maybe. People want to carry on. There's got to be a reality, a way, a place for me to go to be part of. see that pigeon's being extremely selfish, because it has absolutely no way it can get to the food in the smaller one, but it decided to go and land on top of it, and thus scaring away the smaller birds who are actually feeding from it. It's like, no, this is my food. I'm way too big and fat to get to it, but I'm still gonna stop. If I can't have any, you can't, type of mentality, If I can't have it, fuck it all and destroy it all, so no one can have any. It's that's just that kind of scorched earth mentality, And it doesn't surprise me that pigeons are meant to be the doves. Doves are meant to be the bird of God, and it's like, really? Really? Glorified pigeons? I'm sorry, I don't think so. I'm not going to call them flying rats. I have a bit more respect for life than that. And even a rat is a living being. Why would you, we need to be careful about all the vermin. And it's like, oh man, they're not vermin. Not even the rats are vermin. It's just the disease they carry. That's the problem. It doesn't mean that they're vermin, though. It's the kind of thing my mum would say. They use that expression a lot in more rural places. And in a rural setting, the term vermin seems to cover a wider range of animals. Basically any animal that eats the product of a human. And it's like, well, they're a pest, they're a vermin. What is that? So there's a light brighter than the sun passing by. It's definitely a shining one, isn't it? Flying pyramid of the shining ones. Look, it's even bigger. Interesting, isn't it? My friend. Stuff. trying to show me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 6 stuff. Where's that pentagram? That doesn't look strange at all, does it? BRIO. Here's the blackbird. Oh. You gonna fuck around with me? You bastards. Don't do that. You know not to do that. That's not fair. Every so often a glitch like that will occur. And it's unfortunate because there's not much I can do about it. Except for attempt to at least attempt to stop the flashing, you know. Well, this is maybe the 3rd or 4th day now that I haven't heard my birdie friend. And even, well, maybe I'm exaggerating, 2nd or 3rd, maybe. Yeah, it's got to be the 3rd. So I'm thinking of taking a walk around the park and seeing if I can find him. One of the things I've noticed about birds is that they do like to rotate. The crows have done it. They were flying around one tree at one part of the year, then another part of the year they're around another tree, another part of the year they're around another tree, and I've also noticed that they do this rotation thing on a day-to-day basis, but also on a weekly and monthly and annual basis. So there's still cycles and things that I'm noticing about their behaviour that I haven't entirely worked out. But my birdie friend that talks to me seems to have disappeared, and I'm kind of missing him. It's interesting, isn't it? You don't think you'd notice it, but the fact that I have noticed, in fact, if anything, the fact that I have noticed suggests to me that this bird was very special. It's a very special bird. I'm not really sure what was different about it. What made it special? There are features, obvious features, particularly to its song and the way it had different. What would you call it? Different sequences. I don't think that's quite the right word. Different refrains or phrases it would sing, and some of those phrases I was even able to attribute, and there was some kind of English some kind of faux English meaning or set of words to it. What the sound, what the tone sounded like in terms of, I don't know, some kind of English phrase or expression, but I don't know for sure if that's what it was saying. I mean, there were times when I felt like I was having telepathy with him, and I was getting messages every time I would hear him sing. There would be a reverb, echo to the tweeting that didn't just sound like it was coming from out there, but it sounded like it was coming from inside my head too. It was very weird, very weird. You know, there was just too many very strange, subtle, very subtle, but slightly off, not off even, but just very subtle little elements that, you know, looking at the world with new eyes, with the eyes of a child, with the eyes of imagination, and pardon me, it's just yawning. Realising that's what I should have done all along. But we don't do it. We go to school, we get taught this, that, or the other, and then we lose our faculty to explore the world and develop our own personal understanding of this reality. And I say this reality because it's the reality that's been created by that manipulation. We were all manipulated to agree, go to school to learn about a consensus reality. We have governments, we have infrastructure, we have all the aspects of human society that work in tandem to maintain the illusion of this reality, because we agreed to it. We are agreeing to it just by continuing and to engage with it. We agree to it by our reliance on it. We agree to it because we still have a job, or blah blah blah, or you know, we need to eat food, we need to buy things, we need to pay for the rent, we need to, you know, all of those things. Not only did we agree to it, but then we got trapped in it. And then told it that's just the way things are. Or given the standard thing of, oh, that's life is hard. Not kind of wondering or even considering that maybe this attitude that life is hard is partly contributing to the consistency of misery. I know that I feel trapped. For all the work I'm doing in terms of self-improvement and developing my own relationship with spirit and the creator and myself. Really seeing It's just something. Oh man, my brain's going funny. You know what it is? I need a cigarette. Maybe it will come back to me while I'm rolling a cigarette. There you go. These shapes are crazy. The problem is that bird is now. The car alarm bird has kind of been doing that so often that it's kind of stuck in my head now. You know, just over and over again. It's bad enough. I do believe I may have heard Willy Woo from a distance. Man, it's crazy. I lost my train of thought. This is me trying to wake up. I can't. Having a difficult time this morning with my ability to wake up and get my head and my thoughts in order. Hello, everybody. Everybody. I guess to some people we are just corpses. Zombie nations. Oh, if I think of anything interesting to say, I'll just keep it to myself. Watch all of these. You watch all of these self-improvement people online, like London Real, or, I don't know, Tom, Belu, or whatever his name is, or whatever those people are. And you're kind of thinking, oh, there's a new video from the Mystery Decoder. Just wondering, how is that sustainable? And maybe it's worth understanding these people as fit, healthy individuals that perhaps haven't even struggled with the depths of depression that I have. I don't know. I don't want to think that my condition or what I've gone through is any harder than anybody else's. It's all relative to the individual, I suppose, when it comes to that kind of thing. Maybe, I don't know. But I'm really struggling with getting up, getting out, just getting out the door. I don't know what it is. It's this huge lack of desire and motivation. Maybe a fear of the world. Maybe not so much a fear of the world, but fear of a lot of the people in the world. Not even a fear, just a weariness, tiredness. I'm just too tired, too weary and weary. I just want to get over that. How do you find the point where you can let it go and it stay gone? You know? Every time I feel like I'm making progress, something comes back to remind me, yeah, but you still got this, you still got that going on. Can't have you being fit and healthy now, can we? You know, there are days when I feel like I could do anything, and those little bursts are so short-lived. For me, I can't sustain that level of mania or energy, and it burns out very quickly. And then, yeah. I do wonder if those self-improvement people are setting a bar that is a little bit too high for some of the people. I know it's too high for me. It's like, you can do anything you want, you put your mind to. You can do this, you can do that. What if you don't want to? What if I don't want to jump on a rail and attempt to balance? What if I don't want to play? What if I just want to be alone? Oh, but we can't have that now, can we? We can't have someone spending so much time alone. That just won't do. You come up to a coffee shop and meet with a therapist person. What? Notice how small that sun is. How dim it is by comparison to other times. Okay, let's sort this out. I think I need to sneeze a bit more. That doesn't look dodgy, does it?